There's a calorie formula that I come back to time and time again with type 1 diabetics that want to lose fat, and it takes your body weight in pounds and multiplies it by 13 to 14. And I want to explain exactly why that formula works because there's a reasoning behind it. I'm Owen, I'm a type 1 diabetic myself, and this formula isn't pulled out of nowhere. It's actually built around what actually happens to your body when you're insulin dependent. So once you understand why it works, you'll know exactly how to apply it for yourself and you'll be able to reap the benefits of that. So here's exactly how it plays out. Say you weigh 170 pounds and you're training 4 times a week. A generic calculator built for a hard cut might tell you to multiply your body weight by 10 or 11. That's around 1700 to 1900 calories. And without type 1, that's tough, but it's workable. But with type 1 diabetes, that number sets you up to fail. You're more likely to run low during or after your training, you treat it, and then you've just added back in 200 or 300 extra calories that you didn't plan for. And at the same time, you're under recovering from the session. So you end up doing the hardest version of the diet and getting the slowest results from it. That's backwards. And that's exactly why I use this calculation instead. So for that same 170 pound person, that's around 2200 to 2400 calories. And it sounds like a lot more, but it isn't really once you start to account for everything that a lower number actually quietly costs you. So there's a hormone cost to undereating too. When you eat too little for too long, your body actually releases stress hormones, things like cortisol. And think of it like your body panicking a little bit. Those same hormones make you hungrier. So eating too little can actually work against the deficit that you're trying to hold. But there's also a bigger reason not to chase the lowest number that you can manage, even ignoring hypos. So sports science calls this energy availability. And think of calories like fuel in the car. So training burns fuel, and what's left over is what your body has to run everything else. Hormones, sleep. If you cut the fuel too low for too long, and there's nothing left to do any of that, then the 13 to 14 multiplier isn't just about avoiding hypos, it's actually about leaving enough fuel for your body to actually function. And I had a client under eating for months on a number well below this, wondering why nothing was actually moving. And we brought him up to his proper number using this formula, properly fueled, and within 7 weeks, he had gone from this to this. He was eating more than before, not less. And if you do want me to calculate this exact number and show you what else is missing to get you to a point like this, there's a link below that you can book in a one-to-one call with myself. So going too high doesn't work either. If we multiply by more than say 13 to 14 and you're adding back more food than you need, that means more insulin to cover it. And insulin builds things up, including fat. So you end up fighting yourself from the other direction. So there's a quieter version of this too. A sauce here, a few extra carbs there, just to play it safe before training, a bigger treatment than you actually needed, little things like this. And none of it is like character flaw. It's just untracked. And untracked calories don't really care where you're getting them from, but your body does remember it. So body weight times 13 to 14 sits in the zone that fuels your training. It keeps your hypos down and it still leaves you in a real deficit once you account for everything honestly. So to find your exact number, start in the middle, around 13 and a half, and track your trend over 2 to 3 weeks. If hypos are frequent, then nudge it towards 14. If your trend's flat after 3 weeks, then you can start to nudge it down towards 13. You're adjusting based on real signals here from your own body, and that only works if you're tracking honestly. So the split inside that number matters too. For this, you want to aim for around 1 gram per pound of body weight. That protects your muscle while you're in a deficit, and it's also the most filling macronutrient, which really matters for managing hunger and cravings. And for that same 170 pound person, that's roughly 170 grams of protein every single day, spread across normally 2 to 4 meals in the day. And carbs aren't the enemy here either. So we actually want to put more of them in, especially around your training, before and after, when you actually need the fuel. And on rest days, we can eat fewer carbs and a bit more fat to fill in that gap. That's not too complicated. It's just matching your food to when your body's actually using it. Fiber matters more for us too than most people because it slows your digestion. It helps to flatten your blood sugar response to a meal. And a plate with lean protein, vegetables, and a measured carb portion actually gives you a much gentler blood sugar curve than the same calories coming from something more refined. So that means less correcting, less defensive eating, and an easier time staying within your range. So here's roughly what that looks like in a day. Breakfast with protein and a moderate carb portion, a small carb snack before training, your biggest meal after training with more protein and carbs, dinner a little bit lighter in carbs built around your protein, vegetables, and fat. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to be consistent enough that your 3-week trend actually means something. So this is more about precision and consistency than restriction. The number that actually works is usually less dramatic than people expect and just a lot more sustainable. And if you do want this built for your body specifically, there is a link below. Next video, I'm going to be walking through training and walking. So if you want to know more, hit the link below.